Welcome back to Trip to the Zoo, one of the channels that brings the zoo to your room. Good, it's sort of morning where I am. Today, we are going to be rating my top 10 favorite kinds of exhibits. Not my top 10 favorite exhibits, which I've already done, or top 10 favorite zoo animals, which I might do in the future, but we're doing types of exhibits. Stuff like reptile houses, African exhibits, and others. So, without further ado, let's get started. At number 10, we have any kind of Asian attraction. This could include an Asian Highlands, China exhibit, or a Southeast Asian rainforest. I put them in the number 10 spot due to the fact that, much like African attractions, they can feel very repetitive and boring to me at times. However, I do think that they can have far more interesting animals. Despite all this, I will never skip out on an Asian attraction due to the fact that they can be very immersive. The only problem is the animals can be pretty similar and often include mostly just cats. Number 9 is an African savanna attraction. I know many people don't like these because they're very repetitive and often have the same animals, and I completely agree. And somewhat the same can be said for the African forest exhibits, which I will not spend really any time on because I literally have no footage. These pictures are all I have. So we're just gonna go ahead and move on now. Number 7, the Arctic tundra exhibits, which can have polar bears, which I very rarely see active, along with pinnipeds and other animals. While, of course, the wild Arctic at SeaWorld is one of the most memorable and immersive exhibits of all time, in my opinion. I know penguins aren't from the Arctic, don't mind this photo. That still remains that many Arctic exhibits can have very few animals, and unless it's from an aquatic facility in which you could hope to see whales or walruses, if it's from anywhere else, then I imagine you just see an inactive polar bear. Also, yes, I know penguins aren't from the Arctic, I'm sorry. At number 6, the reptile houses. Now, I actually wanted to put these higher on the list. However, I couldn't due to how insane some of these exhibits coming up are. But to be honest, I really enjoy reptile houses. The bigger, the better. Especially if you have a long hallway, there's nothing better than walking down an endless hallway looking at all the scaly friends you could ever see, even though it's repetitive. At number 5, any local or North American attractions. This is because they can be local, which is creative, and they're representing their own place or their continent, and because I absolutely love animals from North America. And personally, I think seeing a bison or a wolf or a mountain lion would be way cooler than seeing a giraffe or a regular traditional lion. At number 4, the birdhouses. Now, just to get things straight, I'm not talking about aviaries. A birdhouse with an aviary can be cool and the highlight, but I'm talking about almost like a reptile house. I'm talking a hallway with glass boxes or good habitats for different kinds of birds to just look at through the glass. That is ideal. And not only can birdhouses be home to some of the rarest animals, as you can see, they can have some of the most immersive exhibits. If you find me at a birdhouse, you can almost guarantee that will be the highlight of my visit to the zoo, especially if it's a smaller park. At number 3, the zoo aquariums. Not only can they be home to an interesting species list, but also, the zoo visit's gonna be fire when you have to go through an underwater journey to complete it. And not all of them are as good as the one I'm showing here, but the fact still remains that the few zoos aquarium in America are and will be viewed as some of the best exhibits. At number 2, America's few nocturnal houses. Now, not everyone gets the opportunity to go through one of these, but if you ever do, then you should know that this is one of the best zoo experiences, if not the best for me. My personal favorite, The Kingdoms of the Night, is a super cool and eerie and creepy attraction. They can be immersive and, of course, have rare species. The nocturnal houses can be some of the most fun you'll ever have in a zoo. However, the only reason they're not number 1 is they just don't match the immersion of the indoor rainforests, the most immersive things, and I cannot even describe them. You just have to see them for yourselves. Okay, goodbye. I don't want to say any more.